From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, March 4th. We're in store for another beautiful day, dry, sunny, with highs reaching the upper 40s to low 50s. And today there is reaction to a looming threat. This morning, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning of a potential plot against the U.S. Capitol. The House will not be in session today because of that threat. Extra Capitol Police are on duty, and National Guard troops are still patrolling the Capitol nearly 2 months since the insurrection. The concern is it's March 4th, the original presidential inauguration day pre-1933. And online, there's a conspiracy theory led by QAnon and far-right extremist groups that former President Donald Trump will rise to power today with a forceful takeover of the Capitol. But a local intelligence firm shed some light on the risks in D.C. and here at home in Indianapolis. Brenna Donnelly reports.
Doug Coons is a former FBI special agent and CEO of an intelligence, investigation, and research firm based in Carmel. First, he says it's hard to believe anything major will happen today. But at the same time, he says,
I think you should always be concerned about the threat of something like this. I don't think you should overreact, but don't underreact either. That's the art to this. Overplan rather than underplan.
So what is that plan? Coons guesses it's more than just increased manpower and fences. It's surveillance, canvassing, and persuading known leaders to call off any extremists within the extremist groups. He also imagines those action items are happening in Indianapolis as well.
Anything that could happen in D.C. could happen here just as well. You've got local chapters of all these different extremist groups in almost any major city, and they could decide to march down and stir up trouble.
So there's been an important 24 hours behind us preventing anything, and an important 24 hours ahead stopping anything from happening.
You don't want to run the risk of letting something unfold so you can catch them, because then some people can get hurt.
Brenna has reached out to Indiana State Police and hasn't heard back about any possible security changes at the State House.
At 1:49 p.m., I received a frantic call from then Chief of United States Capitol Police Stephen's son, where he informed me that the security perimeter of the United States Capitol had been breached by hostile rioters.
Now, that's part of the new insight lawmakers are getting about what happened leading up to the insurrection on January 6th. The commanding general for the D.C. National Guard says he was frustrated and stunned by the Pentagon's slow response as rioters stormed the Capitol. During a Senate hearing yesterday, he told lawmakers he needed approval from his superiors before he could have the Guard respond.
The Army senior leaders did not think that it looked good, it would be a good optic. They further stated that it could incite the crowd.
Major General Walker testified that he could have had boots on the ground at the Capitol within 20 minutes of a call. 5 people died as a result of the Capitol breach, including a police officer and a woman shot by police. And this afternoon, Mayor Hogsett and Marion County Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane will get their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and reiterate this critical step to recover from the pandemic. Dr. Kane participated in a Facebook Live Wednesday, answering vaccine myths and misconceptions. She says getting the right amount of doses is the struggle. Marion County was planning for 20 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine this month and now get 4 million. By the end of March, they will have 20 million. And by April, between Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, Marion County should have more than 100 million doses for the month of April.
I look to see that not only the teachers, but our Indy bus go drivers, our AFIC controllers, some of these other essential folks, our people working in the grocery stores or on the front lines, we're hoping that all of them will be able to get vaccinated by then.
Tonight, Dr. Kane will be participating in our special town hall Overcoming COVID on Wish TV. Experts from across the state will join us for an in-depth conversation. Focuses on vaccines, mental health, education, and the economy. The discussion will focus on what to expect in the coming weeks and months. It's called Overcoming COVID. It will be at 6 o'clock on Wish TV. That is tonight. The Marion County Public Health Department says the goal is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as the doses become available. And more than than 860,000 people in Indiana can now sign up for the vaccine. State health officials opened up eligibility to people 50 and older yesterday. Leaders say that age range makes up 35% of the population, but 80% of hospitalizations and 98% of all COVID-related deaths. The state also says anyone with an organ transplant, sickle cell disease, people on dialysis, or with active lung or blood cancers can get the vaccine. The state opened more eligibility because Indiana received more than 54,000 doses of the new Johnson & Johnson shot.
It really has been about not having enough vaccine to get into arms. We really have been pulling down everything that the CDC offers.
That was Dr. Christina Box. Now, state officials say the state is not expected to receive more Johnson & Johnson vaccine doses for a few more weeks, as I mentioned a little bit earlier.
We just know that we have to get back safely. And I think that once we get the teachers vaccinated and we get the American Rescue Plan passed so that schools like this can have the money to be back safely.
First Lady Jill Biden, a longtime teacher, pushes for teacher vaccinations and the coronavirus relief bill. She toured an elementary school in Connecticut yesterday. Her visit is part of the president's call for all teachers to get at least one shot by the end of the month. Educators in Indiana cannot get the shots through state or county clinics, but they can get them through the federal pharmacy program. In Indiana, Kroger, Meijer, and Walmart are in the program. You cannot use the state website to do that. You do have to go through each store. Governor Holcomb says he's glad teachers have this opportunity to get the shot, but that the state's focusing first on those most at risk of severe illness or death.
We have taken the approach that it's not the occupation or vocation, it's your condition. You'll be pushing some out who are more at risk, and that's my concern.
Teachers can find federal vaccination locations on an interactive map on the state's website. We also have a link to that on wishtv.com. And today, the first of several Senate votes on a massive COVID-19 relief bill. It's already changing from the version the House passed. Senate Democrats and President Biden have agreed to send $1,400 stimulus checks to fewer people. The new version would not send them to anyone who makes more than $80,000 a year. The White House says President Biden is confident the package will make it through the Senate.
There are suggestions, there are changes, there are negotiations between even different members, different parts of one party. That's what's happening now. And he is open to, has always said, he's open to good ideas and to proposals that will strengthen the package.
Today's scheduled votes are procedural. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is trying to unify Republican opposition before a final vote in the coming days.
And when you look at their partisan bill, you can certainly see why. Less than 9% of their massive proposal would go to the core healthcare fight against COVID-19.
The process could slow today. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is threatening to force a reading of the entire 700-page bill. He says that could take more than 10 hours.
Ayes are 220. The nays are 212. The bill is passed.
Indiana Congressman Andre Carson calls presiding over a vote to pass a bill named in honor of George Floyd an honor. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed the House last night. It now returns to the Senate for a second time. The bill originally passed through the House last year, but not the Senate. It aims to set up a national registry of police misconduct. It would also ban racial and religious profiling by law enforcement at the federal, state, and local levels. Floyd was the black man who died in Minneapolis police custody. A white officer had his knee on Floyd's neck for almost 9 minutes. His death sparked national protests calling for police reform. The trial for the former Minneapolis officer accused is scheduled for late this month. Derek Chauvin faces second-degree unintentional murder and second-degree manslaughter charges. Jury selection starts Monday. House Democrats approved a sweeping voting and ethics bill. It would be the largest overhaul of the U.S. election law in a generation. It passed without any Republican support. The legislation would expand voter participation, restrict partisan gerrymandering, and curb the role of big campaign donors. Its chances in the Senate are not clear. Former Vice President Mike Pence, though, is urging lawmakers to vote against that voting reform bill. Pence wrote an op-ed for a conservative blog called The Daily Signal. In it, he says the bill would increase opportunities for election fraud and trample the First Amendment. He repeated voter fraud claims that former President Trump had in the 2020 presidential election. Pence says the Capitol insurrection deprived Americans of a discussion about election integrity. Pence did not lay out what changes he would like to see.
I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever pain I caused anyone. I never intended it.
That's Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, on the accusations that have many calling him to quit. Cuomo offered a broad apology for past behavior, but avoided specifics on the claims of 3 women. 2 say he touched them inappropriately. Another says he repeatedly made harassing comments to her when she worked for him. Cuomo has denied 2 of the claims and has not yet offered specific comments on the 3rd. He's getting political pressure from both sides of the aisle to resign.
I wasn't elected by politicians. I was elected by the people of the state of New York. I'm not going to resign.
One of Cuomo's accusers is reacting to the comments. Former aide Lindsey Boylan tweeted, "How can New Yorkers trust you to lead our state if you don't know when you've been inappropriate with your own staff?" Another accuser refutes Cuomo's claims that he didn't know he made people uncomfortable. The attorney representing Charlotte Bennett wrote that Bennett reported the behavior immediately to Cuomo's chief of staff and chief counsel, adding, "We are confident that they made him aware of her complaint."
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
Back here in Indianapolis, the leader of the police union in Indy is angry about a new report on rioting in the city. FOP President Rick Snyder says it unfairly blames officers and provides cover for city leaders. The riots grew out of social justice protests on back-to-back nights last May. A newly released independent investigation is critical of many facets of the response. Much of it deals with the response of IMPD officers. Snyder says the report does not reflect what actually happened.
It said that the police officers were unprepared, undertrained, and lacked communication. What the true facts are of what occurred is the ones that were unprepared, undertrained, and lacking communication were the politicians and the decision makers, not the police officers.
As an example, Snyder points out the report's conclusion that the use of riot gear fueled the change from peaceful protest to violence. Snyder says OSHA rules mandate what officers wear in that situation. Police in Fisher say there is no threat to the rest of a neighborhood after a shooting happened last night near 136th and Promise Road. Police say the shooting involved 2 people. One of them suffered non-life-threatening injuries and that both people are accounted for. Investigators are not releasing names or saying exactly what happened. Hundreds of jobs for Hoosiers. One Indiana business says it is desperately searching for employees. The pandemic is causing its business to boom, but the search for workers is slower than expected. Unemployment is still higher than a year ago. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development says December's unemployment rate was 4.3%. That's way down from 16.9% in April, but still about 1% higher than March of last year. Now, Bastain Solutions says they have part of the solution, 400 open jobs. Hannah Mordeau reports.
From machinery to management.
So that's what this team is working on here.
Bastain Solutions has it all.
We need help. We need help right now.
Except manpower.
Our biggest challenge right now is hiring. In this calendar year, we need to hire roughly 400 people.
Greg Connor is a VP at the company and says 120 of those jobs are in manufacturing in Greenfield and Westfield. The rest are corporate positions in sales and engineering.
We're the best kept secret on the north side of Indianapolis.
So what do? Bastion Solutions helps companies automate their distribution operation, meaning
we make the stuff that allows next day delivery, same hour delivery, all the stuff that people are so excited about. We make the stuff that makes that happen.
Nolan Barr is a plant manager.
I mean, we'll be basically quadrupling in size within 18 to 24 months.
That's because they make products like conveyor equipment for all sorts of companies who deliver packages straight to your door. And the pandemic means lots of packages.
The trend towards automation and material handling has been going on for decades, and the pandemic has only accelerated that.
The whole COVID situation has just turned our industry on fire. You think about how many different types of packages everybody is ordering each day.
But hasn't the health crisis hurt employment? The state says Indiana is still competitive, and virtual job fairs have been successful. So finding Hoosiers to hire can be hard.
Just keeping up with the hiring has been our biggest challenge.
They need all kinds of people. Educated, skilled, and unskilled.
As we hire, we're looking more for attitude than aptitude. We'll teach you the skill sets needed to do the job well.
David Moore is a general manager and says what matters most is mentality.
And we'll get you where you want to go.
Because in the end, the right solution for this solutions company is our community.
I think we have a lot that we're going to be contributing to the economy of Central Indiana, and it makes me proud.
Entry-level assembly jobs start at $16.50 an hour. Entry engineering roles are between $70,000 to $85,000 a year. Libraries across Central Indiana are deciding what to do with 6 Dr. Seuss books that are going out of print. The group that controls the late author's works, Dr. Seuss Enterprises, says it will not allow the 6 titles to be published any longer because they contain racist or insensitive words and pictures. That news came out a little bit earlier this week. Now, Greenwood Public Library says it's now considering removing the books. The Indianapolis Public Library is considering moving them to the adult section.
We want, people who are older, adults that want to be nostalgic and see these books and share them with their grandchildren and talk to them about those times. There is a place for these books in conversation in life.
2 of the Seuss books going out of print were the Caldecott Honor Books at the time of their original publication. That's considered one of the top awards for children's books. Now to business headlines. Indianapolis-based Anthem Insurance reaffirmed that this year is going as planned despite uncertainty from the pandemic. In early February, Anthem announced an agreement to acquire InnovaCare Health, including MMM Holdings and its Medicare Advantage plan, MMM Healthcare, and other affiliated companies. Simply, Wall Street analysts say that they like that Anthem is reinvesting and growing its business. Walmart says it will support U.S. manufacturers with $350 billion of added business. The retailer is launching a program to bring together stakeholders such as suppliers and government officials to discuss how to eliminate barriers and increase U.S. manufacturing. It also says the decision will benefit the environment and the U.S. economy by sourcing goods closer to customers. Dollar Tree will open 600 new stores this year, continuing dollar store chains toward growth across the United States. Dollar stores have surged as economically strapped customers seek out bargains on food, household essentials, and other items. The company, which also owns the Family Dollar chain, will open 400 Dollar Tree stores and 200 Family Dollar stores this year. Yet another streaming service launches in the U.S. today. Paramount Plus costs $6 a month for the limited commercials plan or $10 a month for no commercials. Available TV channels include MTV, BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and movies like Mission Impossible. And, caffeine lovers, if you're a fan of coffee, you might not like this next story. Coffee processors in the United States are reporting significant cost increases in their operations, mostly related to transportation, and expect to raise retail prices soon. Last week, transportation backlogs helped push coffee prices to their highest in more than a year. All right, let's move on to sports now. NCAA fans can show their support ahead of March Madness. The Indiana Sports Corp is asking people to be part of a welcoming committee by penning your passion. The Indianapolis Host Committee of the Indiana Sports Corp says it's committed to creating special moments and lasting memories for the 68 NCAA teams that are participating. So here's how you can share your words with them. Download or print one or all of the letter templates available online. Handwritten notes, digital notes, and drawings are welcome too. Digital notes can be typed and saved inside the template. You must sign your first name and last initial on the letter. It's optional to include a descriptor in your signature, like your hometown or your school. Do not write to specific teams. Messages and drawings should be kept to the front page of the template. There will be suggested prompts to write a message, or you can use your own creativity. The group suggests writing about why you love watching college basketball or motivational quotes. Letters can be mailed or emailed to Indiana Sports Corp. All letters must be received by March 8th. The Pacers are back in the win column this morning after losing 4 straight games. One player is in the NBA history books. Guard TJ McConnell had 9 steals in the first half of the game with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the first player to ever have that many in one half. McConnell finished the game with 16 points, 13 assists, and 10 steals, his second career triple-double. He credits his teammates for his game.
I feel like I always try to be a team guy, and I'm not trying to be cliche here. My teammates enabled it. The way they were pressuring the ball, letting me get in the passing lanes, making shots, getting me the ball. So all credit to them. Seriously, they deserve all the credit.
Pacers beat the Cavs 114-111. The Blue and Gold play the Denver Nuggets tonight at Bankers Life. And finally, we are hearing excitement and expert analysis from the young Eagles fan who stole hearts with his support for new Colt Carson Wentz. Olivia Ray caught up with Giovanni Hamilton to get his thoughts on the trade.
You're still my hero.
The last few weeks have been an emotional roller coaster for Giovanni Hamilton.
It's been insane.
While the 13-year-old Eagles aficionado grappled with his favorite team trading away his favorite player, he was also physically healing from yet another surgery stemming from his Schwartz-Jampel syndrome.
I can't even put on his jersey right now because
Now, Giovanni's condition is incredibly rare, but his battle is what connected him with Colts' future quarterback, Carson Wentz.
I don't know why. I just clinged on to Carson Wentz, and then he had his knee injury, and that really stood out to me because it's like, hey, I've had 17 surgeries in my life so far, and he's gone through this too. We kind of have a little bit in common.
And before Carson Wentz settles into his new home here at Lucas Oil, we figured we'd better get the inside scoop from none other than his biggest fan. In fact, even the Colts locker room logged on to take some notes on their newest teammate.
Hi.
Giovanni, first of all, I would like to say welcome to Indy. We're definitely looking forward to it. And, in the locker room, we're definitely looking forward to you, rooting for us.
I'll definitely be rocking that blue and white Carson Wentz jersey, and I think that when he comes to Indy and has a good O-line, I think he'll be running a lot more for yardage. I think he's going to get a ring with you guys, hopefully a few.
Sounds like a plan, especially if the Colts can keep these promises.
I'm gonna tell the offensive lineman, as soon as I get off the phone, I'm gonna tell Q and let them know that they got somebody room for him to make sure they take care of Carson Wentz up front.
All right, he's such a good role model for kids like me. So Colts fans that are kids, you guys have an amazing mentor.
Welcome aboard, Giovanni. Colts Nation can't wait to have you. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Oh, I just love Giovanni, and I'm so glad that he is now an adopted Colts super fan. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.